guys, I'm at Miguel's. It's like this pizzeria gear shop campground for climbers. So it's like and it was one of my first communities that felt like home. So it feels really good to be here. It evolved a lot over time, and I'm still getting used to the feeling of things have changed and that's good, sort of the same river, you never step in the same river twice kind of deal. But a lot of people that I know have moved on. We all used to hang out here in these little booths all the time, and now there's actually a period where it was like, oh no, it's too nice here, no one ever wants to leave, they're never gonna leave. And it's like, this is Neverland, and it's like heaven, but also you're just here. Are you really just going to stay here forever with all your friends? And and there's this whole, there were the really good times. I mean, there were so many phases before me too, but I think there was an era before me where it was people were unhealthy and partying too much, and then people were kind of moving through that together. And then I had a really lovely time, just the friends and this very strong sense of community where you're all sitting on the breakfast table in the morning, and you go and climb and you send your cool projects and you come back and you tell each other about it, and then you sit out in the basement and eat pizza and drink beer, and there's the indoor basement which is covered in bamboo wallpaper, and you play chess. And but then there was this period after where it was are people just gonna stay here forever because they love it here and they're with their friends, but this isn't reality, it's just this bubble. And people there's this trying to preserve the bubble sense, and in a sense, if people had just been doing that forever, maybe I would have returned 7 years later and been same people still here doing the same things. But it's actually good, I think. Everyone graduated, and they some people moved to different cities, some people bought land and bought houses around the area, and now they're all locals and live in their houses here, which is strange, because it's oh my god, but now they don't hang out in this communal space anymore. But also I guess now they're the locals and they live here, but yeah, I don't know. It's so interesting. And yeah, what else? I'm getting distracted because they're making orange juice and margaritas and whatnot. But maybe I'll show you guys some of the outside a little more. Climbing stuff.
Só que a gente tinha chegado de manhã. No dia seguinte, a gente estava indo com duas mulheres.
But yeah, I guess the point of this video is just climbing was my first thing introduction or my first feeling of having a really strong sense of community. And it was like, I would go to some crag in the middle of nowhere. Back then it was a lot smaller community, especially like the outdoor climbers. There's a lot of like mentorship and people sort of helping each other through like climbing better, but also like through life and decision making and things like that. And I felt like I could go to some remote crag and find people that probably we have some like mutual friends, or like the feeling of like, oh, these are my people was really strong back then. And now it's evolving, and it's interesting to see like a community, not just Miguel's, but like the overall climbing community go through these phases of like really niche to like mainstream, which is good, I guess. There's something around like when it becomes mainstream, it becomes legibly successful, and like how do we preserve the cozy, homey, magical like sense of belonging, and can you preserve any of this like niche culture when it expands? And I think like to some extent, like for example, Miguel's now is a lot bigger and more commercial than it used to be. So yeah, in some sense there's like documentation, like films and like writing and storytelling that helps preserve this, just like by people. But yeah, I think so far what I'm coming down to is like, yeah, just honoring things as they happen through like documentation, and continuing to like create together, and that these moments is what preserves like this aliveness in a community. Okay, I think that's it for today, but see you guys later.